And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Now, if you guys don't know, if you haven't looked at the time, this is not a time that I normally go live on my videos, but for today, I had to make an exception because today, one of the most ridiculous, crazy artworks that I have ever seen in the history of this hobby, somebody figured out. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar with like V-Star Universe and everything that's going on with those. And there were some really awesome secret rares that were released, like super recently, secret rares. And I'm just going to do this right now. I'm just going to throw it right up on the screen. I'm going to share my screen because I'm sure you guys are familiar with these. And they were crazy. Not only were they crazy, they were some of like the best secret rares we've seen in a while now too. And obviously you got like the Palkia, the Arceus, the Dialga, and then the Giratina. Now, this is the thing. When I saw these artworks, I was like, okay, Pokemon's doing a good job. Like, this definitely tells like kind of a cool story. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like put the dots together. I didn't really know what I was looking at in the sense of like what it truly was. So when this is what somebody was able to put together. They were able to take the cards. Now, I don't know if this is directly from Pokemon or if somebody was able to just put this together and do it themselves. But my God, these cards go together. And when we think about cool cards, we think about like the legend cards from Heart Gold Soul Silver base with like the Ho-Ho and the Lugia and all those cards because you could put them together and they tell a story. This artwork is now taking it to such a different level. I've never in my entire life in this hobby seen so many like religious undertones to an artwork when you look at this. So obviously to the right, you have the Dialga, to the left, you have the Palkia, and then in the center, Arceus, and then down below is the Giratina. Now, there's a couple things to take in with this artwork. First off, they're the origin, like origin forms, obviously. But more importantly, this is telling the story of like, and it's the oldest story that has ever existed. It is the story, it is the battle of like heaven versus hell. Like straight out of John Milton's Paradise Lost, like heaven versus hell. And you can see it in this artwork. And how Pokemon did this is deep. This is like crazy. So historically, like throughout time, throughout artwork, especially like during the medieval times, there's a lot of artworks that exist like this with God in the center. And then usually, to his left and to his right are his apostles. And then down below in those photos are usually like the representation of hell. And the Giratina artwork is that representation. It represents hell. And if you know anything about like the backstory of Pokemon and the mythology of Pokemon, like these are like what are they called? They're like the origin. What was the origin Pokemon? I'm trying to think of the name. I think that's what they're called. Oh, no. I think they were called the Creation Trio. That's what they were. So obviously Arceus created Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina. And that's why they call them the Creation Trio. Now, one of the things you got to keep in mind is that Giratina was like cast out by Arceus. And one of the things like being cast out is the same thing as like being excommunicated. So like in a way, Giratina is like not a I don't want to call him like a fallen angel, but like it's the same sort of mindset. So because Giratina was like cast away and was sent to like the distortion world. So like distortion world becomes like hell. And Giratina is in this constant battle with Arceus and Palkia and Dialga. And it's that in like that legendary struggle of like good and bad, like heaven versus hell. And Pokemon, however they did it in this artwork, like killed it. And there's examples of it. Like you can look at like old historical, like, religious artworks, with like God in the middle, surrounded by his apostles, and then like hell down below. And Pokemon did this. When you do the compare and contrast to these, you can't, like, on the screen right now, I'm showing like historical representations of, that, John Milton's Paradise Lost type, battle, where you have God as the center point, surrounded by his apostles, and then down below is like hell. And Pokemon did it so well. When I saw whoever put this artwork together and was able to make this, description, I was blown away. I'm such a fan of the Pokemon artwork, but this brought it to a whole nother level. Like, I don't know how Pokemon got away with it. Like, how no one was able to connect the dots. Because I'm not going to lie, when I saw those very original cards, like right at the beginning, I didn't put together. I just thought, like, okay, these are awesome artworks. But my God. And it's crazy too, because like Giratina in the Pokemon anime, like he holds a grudge against Arceus, the same way as like the devil holds a grudge against God. So the way Pokemon is able to tell stories through artwork is just, it's crazy. And like in the anime, Giratina like holds the balance between the two worlds. Like so like the distortion world and the Pokemon world, he holds the balance of those. So it's pretty wild too. And then when Giratina goes into like his shadow form, he's also able to bring in and like merge the two worlds, like merge the distortion world with the Pokemon world. And then like in the Pokemon anime, it's honestly like hell on earth, if you can imagine like that. Like he has the ability to like control those. And I loved it. Like that's why I had to make this video. When I saw these artworks, I could not get over how freaking crazy Pokemon did it. There's very few times that Pokemon just like hits a freaking home run and that ball never lands. This is one of those times. Like, I don't know what this is going to mean for the prices of these cards. Like, hopefully we see these in, I'm sure we're going to see these in English. Like, I haven't seen any leaks yet. If they are in, the next set coming out. But wow, this, I don't know. I thought this was pretty epic. When I saw this, like, it's like I said, it's very few times that I'm seeing artwork and I'm just like immediately pushed back, where I have to stop and say, wow. This photo's been all over the place. If you guys are not part of Professor Oak's Discord, or if you're not part of Rattle's Discord, I definitely recommend you guys like going to those Discords, because this is where you're going to get information like this way before you see it on a channel like mine. Like, obviously, in order for me to make this video, I had to put these PowerPoint slides together just like super quick, like, because this was emergency awesomeness. But yeah, it's just, because when you think about this, when you look at this artwork, like, you got Arceus in the middle. So you got Arceus right here. And then you got like Palkia, and you got Dialga in the origin form. So these are, like, imagine like the apostles of Arceus. And then down below, Giratina, which, I said these are the original creation trio. So when like Arceus made the first Pokemon, these were the first 3 Pokemon he made. And then Giratina below. Giratina, the reason why like Arceus call it excommunicated Giratina was literally because of just like bad behavior, because Giratina was bad, but like there was this original love between all of them because they loved their creator, which was Arceus. But it's the same thing, like kind of in, John Milton's Paradise Lost, where I'd rather spend an eternity in hell than serve a day in heaven, kind of thing. So even though there was like this real original friendship between all of them, Giratina just, he was different. But there was some good in Giratina, like, and in the movies and the TV, and well, mainly in the movies, you like see the good part about him. Like, it is this internal struggle that he has. And no, it's such a cool story because, you know, Pokemon could take stuff from real life. You know, in this case, they're taking stuff from from the Bible, and they're able to like tell this story. But, you know, in the anime, Giratina is referred to as the banished Pokemon. Like that's how you'll hear people refer to him sometimes in the anime. But like just like the devil, sometimes you'll hear people refer to the devil as the fallen. So for Pokemon to do this artwork, like I said, is just next level deep. Like it hits on this weird level. Like, and like to go back to the very first, like this is what we are originally presented with. Like this was the artwork, you know? And I'm not going to lie, I was not able to connect the dots and see that these cards turn into this. I just wasn't able to. I didn't have the foresight in order to like see how beautiful this was or to see the story. But when I saw this photo, I stopped. I stopped and I said, holy crap. I said, in my opinion, so this is one thing we always talk about Pokemon, about the hobby as a whole. And there's no denying Pokemon, there's nothing stopping them from making freaking great artwork. There's nothing. And we always wonder, like, what's the next level? For me personally, looking at this is a turning point in the hobby right now today. Like, there's very few times in this entire hobby where like you could kind of stop and you look at something and you go, this is different. This is different enough for you to say, wow, to literally make you stop in your tracks and say, oh my God, there's literally nothing at this point that Pokemon cannot do. They can take, you know, inspiration from anything. It's crazy. It is crazy how good. I can't get over. I know I'm kind of just repeating myself in a weird way because I'm saying how crazy this artwork is, but it is. They're literally taking, you know, one of the greatest stories ever told and turning and like bringing it into the Pokemon world, but then putting it in card form and just presenting it to everybody. And I'm just like, wow. Because it is the oldest story ever told. That battle between good and evil, because that's what the Bible is in a way, right? I mean, there's a lot in the Bible, but like at the end of the day, when you look at God and Satan, it is the oldest story ever told. You know, it is good versus evil. It is heaven versus hell. Like that's why John Milton's Paradise Lost is such a good story, because it's a representation of the oldest internal battle that the world has, good versus evil. And Pokemon freaking did it. And they did it so well. I was blown away. I was so blown away that I had to stop everything that I was doing on a Saturday in the middle of the afternoon and make an emergency freaking awesome video. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys thought that this was interesting. If not, like, that's fine. But trust me, I thought it was freaking awesome. Wow. It was crazy though. Let's see. I don't know how to stop sharing my screen. But yeah, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope this was fun for you. Sorry, I actually have some stuff I have to do today, but this was just like that emergency awesome video. And I want to kind of like make this video before anybody else like started talking about it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought. If you think that this is as crazy awesome as I did, or if I'm just kind of like losing my mind because there's no way that Pokemon could make such great artwork and tell such awesome stories, and like how this missed everybody. It totally like went past me when I saw those very initial cards. Yeah, guys, appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm thinking about going live tonight, so if you guys would like to see me go live, let me know down in the comments. If anybody wants to ever join, reach out to me on Instagram. We'll see what we can do. But with that said, appreciate every single one of you guys. This was a historic day in the Pokemon hobby, and it's not one I'm gonna quickly forget. This will probably be one that sticks around, and when the conversation of best artworks of all time come up, it's going to be very, very hard for me to not talk about this as being one of the most crazy epic stories ever told in a Pokemon artwork. And we are talking about this from a card that was literally produced in 2022. Look at this artwork. Look how crazy this is. I mean, look at it. Look at the story Pokemon is telling. I can't get over it. I just can't. Sorry, guys. Freaking awesome. Pokemon did it again. This is a new Pokemon high for me. This is insane. Wow. Can't get over it. Sorry, guys. But with that said, I'll catch you guys on the next video.